So
Your beer locked and loaded?
I got my beer locked and loaded. So how's it
I just
going?
got my Bud Lights.
There we go.
I'm good,
Have
man.
have a Bud Light for now, and then as soon as your stork package comes in, you'll have to let me know how it goes.
I will.
So how are you tonight, Joe Sambo? What's up, man?
I'm good, man. It's been busy, but good. Living the life, baby.
Living the life. How you liking it down south now? Looks like you're
I love it, dude.
yeah, man. What's going
I
on?
love
So
it.
is it it's pretty wide open and back to normal?
For the most part, in Key West, I mean, it depends. It goes from city to city, but Key West is pretty open. The local government here, or local, like the mayor and everything, they're still a little strict with the masks and stuff being inside, but I mean, like everyone's being pretty respectful and things are opening up. I'm able to play music, so that's
That
all I give a shit about.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome to fucking
Yeah.
hear. Really stoked. So, normally what I do is have a beer with people, and we talk about some things. And like I was saying before the stream started, I just wanted to talk about your past bands, and then all the way up till
Cool.
now, because it's like it's so cool. You're the first artist that it's a giant fucking shift, like a
That's like
giant shift.
it's not it's not metal.
Not metal at all, and it's so cool to see because it's wicked enjoyable, man. I really enjoy the music.
That's cool.
So
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
yeah, man, tell me about your past music. So what did you start playing, even if it's before your metal band? You know, what got you into playing music, man?
Well, started as a kid. My whole family, they're all musical. I used to watch my dad play all the time growing up, and I'd go up and sing with his band. He'd play at the Hampton Beach Shell in Hampton, New Hampshire,
Oh,
and I'd go
dope.
see his band. And like, I don't know, that's kind of where it started. And I've always sang and um, tried to start bands here and there from middle school to high school. But freshman year of high school, I met all the dudes in Spies Like Us, and we started doing some touring and playing metal shows in Manchester, New Hampshire, and causing a ruckus.
So playing
But,
Rockos and fucking all that.
yep, yes, sir.
So
The
yeah,
hardcore kids.
the hardcore kids. So talk to me, man. What's it like going from playing metal music to what you're doing now? What was the progression, man?
I don't know. It had a lot to do with smoking weed, that's for sure. Uh, um, I don't know. So you're a New England cat, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember Bull Moose Music?
Yes, sir.
So I used to work at Bull Moose, and I
Okay.
was in Spies Like Us. And when I wasn't on the road, I was home with music. Basically, I don't know, working there, working with so many different people, and on to a lot of different types of music. And like I said, my dad's a musician. He's always like showed me funk, um, jazz, and but it wasn't until I worked at the record store where it was like excuse me, sorry, I burped. It wasn't until I worked at the record store where I kind of it opened my genres, and that's when I started smoking a lot of weed, and like I started listening to a lot of reggae. But I was still in the metal band, so while I was in the van with the band, I'd bring my ukulele and I'd jam like acoustic, like a ukulele tune, reggae tunes in the van, and even the dudes in Spies, they were like, "Holy shit, dude, you got like this reggae thing going on." But like I was always touring the metal thing. Like, that scene is really what like my angsty young self kind of gravitated towards was the metal scene. So that's kind of like what I did and what I was into at the time. But I don't know, like it was a gradual change. It was like fast forward to when Spies Like Us broke up, it was like a natural kind of transition for me because I already had a couple songs reggae style that I had been working on, and I don't know, it just kind of organically came together that way over time.
That's really cool, man. So Playing metal back in the day and touring, I mean, what was that like for you? Did you get into metal music with like traditional metal bands like Metallica and shit, or did you just kind of stumble across whatever whatever got you into heavy music? Like, did you start out playing heavy, or did you play other types of music before then? Like you said, your dad was huge in music and
So
played too. So
yeah, so I really got into metal because my cousin Jesse. Do you know the band Conforza?
yeah.
My cousin Jesse plays guitar for Conforza,
Oh,
and
okay.
when growing up, we would hang out all the time, and he would show me like Children of Bodom, um, um, the Faceless, and like all these like deathcore, like awesome metal bands, and we'd literally just drive around in his truck and like blast the Faceless as loud as possible. And just, he really was a huge influence on my metal, like the metal that I was into, like Amir, wicked heavy deathcore was like my shit for a while, and and then he also got me into like Between the Buried and Me is still one of my favorite bands of all time. I love Between the Buried and Me, and that goes on to like the more prog rock, like Animals as Leaders and Periphery and shit like that. But I mean, Jesse got me into a lot of that shit, got me more fascinated with different bands in metal, and I mean, that was kind of what got it going. And even my dad, I'd show him like Spies Like Us and like those tunes, and he's just like, I don't understand what you're saying. So like having my dad have his influence on my music, and then me playing metal, it naturally made this angsty, like he's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna play what the fuck I want, Dad. Like it's like you don't understand, Dad. It's metal.
That's so awesome.
You
So
know?
like playing during that time, like you guys are like right at the peak of when metalcore was starting to get really popular. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So was that like an amicable bow out? Like you guys were all just tired of doing it, or was it,
Well,
sometimes it's go ahead.
what's funny with that band is like, I mean, I was the youngest, so I was I was freshman year of high school while they were all seniors in high school when we started. And we started it for fun, never really imagined it getting any bigger, and it did. And we just started doing it and touring. They were all in college while I was still in high school. So by the time they all graduated college, they were getting internships for what they went to school for, and it just got kind of busy in our individual lives. And we all wanted to do it, but inevitably it just like throughout it was like 2010, 2013 is when we were like really hitting it, and that was also around the time where we were all kind of like, we either going all in on it, or we're just gonna have to like call it because of just how everyone's individual lives were shaping out to be with their own personal careers. And it's like, okay, do you sacrifice everything you went to college for 4 years, or and just like drop it and tour with this metal band that won't make anything for a while, and it just came down to that they we all made the decision that it was just the time to stop doing it and focus on our own things. And with me being my age, I was still a senior in I actually dropped out of high school my junior year to do it full time. So I was there like, well, what the fuck? Like, all right. I'm like, all right, I guess we're done. Like I understood completely and respected it completely. There goes my hey guys, I'm doing an interview. If you guys want to, I think your package just came.
Did it really?
I think so.
That'd be
One sec.
hilarious,
Sorry, guys.
dude.
Yeah, that's the package. I can't hear you. I'm just gonna get this box out of here. Okay, I'm doing an interview. It's all good. Is this gonna be in the interview?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Can
in the
we
interview.
edit it?
So no,
It is
no,
gonna be?
it's live. You're live right now, dude.
I'm live right now. Holy
Yeah.
shit. Okay, perfect. Well, that's the that's the thing with live TV, I guess.
Pretty
But I
awesome,
got
man.
you. Let's open it up.
And it look it
Pretty rad.
it got there in one piece.
That
I'm
was
so
that was
impressed.
Pete.
So that's a first. That's definitely a first for the show. Is
Oh
doing live.
baby. Dude, this is badass. Yeah, baby.
There we go, dude.
Oh man,
Awesome.
I love it. That's a badass design.
Thanks,
And you
man.
got a 4-pack here.
Yeah, you got a 4-banger in there, dude.
You did a hell of a job wrapping these, man.
Of course, you gotta be safe,
Oh
bro.
baby.
So those
Oh
might
baby.
be piss warm right now. But
They
I did a 4-pack of the
probably are.
Mexican lager because you said that you were like a Land Shark Bud Light guy. So
You froze on me, bub.
oh, you there? Hold on, I'm still here. Hold on 1 second.
No.
Is it you or me?
You're doing so good.
Is it you or me?
I don't know. I can hear you. I can't see you anymore.
Oh, you've got no bars on your little thingy. Oh, now you got full bars. Now I can see you. Now you're back. Can you not see me still?
You can see me? I
can
can't see you.
I can see you, though. Just follow the sound of my voice.
You can see me?
Yes, sir.
I can hear you. That's good enough, I guess.
All right, sounds good to me. So yeah, like we were saying, for you said that it was like, it was an okay time because at the time you were of that age that you could sort of bow out, you know what I mean? And start something else. Lost connect. 1 second, everyone. We lost Joe. So, there he is.
Jeez Louise. Sorry about that, man.
That's okay.
That's so crazy.
It's all good, man. Technical difficulties are always fun on the show.
Well, yeah, I'm in the middle of an island, so we're doing what we can.
Yeah, exactly, dude. So you were saying that, like, at the time, you're junior, you dropped out, and you're like, what the fuck? So, like, take me from there. Like, you're like, where did you, at that point in your life, were you like, what am I, you wanted to do music. So, like,
yeah, I pretty much gave up everything in high school to do it. And I mean, I was a little butthurt about it, but like, I also understood, like, everyone's got their shit to do. And I had to figure it out for myself. And the first logical thing, it's like, all right, I have all these songs that I've been working on. And I mean, I just kind of started fresh. And I actually started a band with my brother, Tony, and our friend, Greg. And we'd gone through a couple different drummers, but it was called Joe Sambo and the Goons. And that was my first like reggae project after Spies broke up. But like before that, it was like I was saying, it was like I felt like I was 16 years old again after Spies broke up, because that was my plan. I was like, I'm gonna be in a famous metal band and tour the world. And then like that, it was like, okay, fuck, like what now? So it was, but it was like a no-brainer. Like, okay, I gotta keep making music. Like that's what I do. So it took some time. I had worked many odd jobs, from landscaping to Dunkin' Donuts to fucking you name it, Guitar Center. And I don't know. But that first band, reggae wise, was Joe Sambo and the Goons with my brother, and my cousin Chris was the drummer, and Greg was the guitar player. And through that we met a lot of different musicians, and I got to experience like a more jam setting. Like with metal, it was all like you record it and you perform it exactly precisely the way it was recorded,
yep.
Where getting into the reggae jam band scene, it was all new to me. So it was like a breath of fresh air, being just going up there. At first I was terrified to like just be like, okay, we don't know what we're playing, we're just gonna wing it. And now that's what I live for. I love that shit. When you get a group of guys on stage and it's just like, all right, we're playing in D minor funk jam. Let's go. And you just follow. Drummer starts doing the beat. Okay, we're in D minor. I'll start playing some riffs in D minor and see what happens. And you make some of the greatest magic there is, like in the jam band world and reggae world. Those kind of worlds coincide. And from like the festival scene to like the Grateful Dead scene, the reggae scene, even hints of funk bands. Like it's just it's kind of crazy how pigeonholed the metal scene can make it when you're um, trying to get into different things. It's like a whole
You're
new world of
you're a million
music.
percent right. You're a million percent
Yeah,
right. And it's like going back to actually Spies, you guys like with Seeker and Theory, those two songs off your first album, um, those were extremely metal, and then you got more metal core on your second album. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like more breakdowny things like that. And then you disband and you come up with Joe Sambo and the Goons, and you're like, okay, this is where I'm fucking going right now. Because I mean, you did do vocals on the recordings, correct? For Spies Like Us, I mean, you
Yeah.
did sing live as well too.
Well,
So
so I sang like the clean vocals. I did some
yeah,
screaming. Bobby Fitzgerald did the screaming. But yeah, I did a lot of the vocals with Spies, and I've always kind of had that versatility vocally, like, and it's brought a lot of benefits to what I do now. Being like, because in the metal scene, the vocals are very powerful and high up, like that whole tone type of stuff.
mm-hmm.
That was a terrible example, but it's very whole tony and very like aggressive and gritty vocal. Um, and in some of my reggae stuff, you can hear some of that influence in like my song "Why Do We Fight," "We the People." It gets a little heavy, and I can actually do that gritty and like heavier vocal style, singing, not necessarily screaming. There's some screaming in my first record, um,
I feel like
but yeah,
it's
it's like
a reggae folky yell. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not like you would think like it's not like fucking Boston beatdown yell. It's like
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So for like this, it's like who do you get compared to most if people were to say like, "Hey man, you sound like who do you feel like you're a mix of if people were to say not
Um,
not from your perspective, but what do people hear when they hear you?"
a lot of people say Brad Knoll from Sublime,
Okay.
um, because he had that like punk kind of flair to his voice, but also that soulful, like soft spoken singing style too. Um, a lot of people have compared me to him. Um, a lot of people have said that I sound like Stevie Wonder, which is awesome. I don't
That's
think so at all, but
that's really cool, but I don't hear Stevie Wonder at all.
it's quite a compliment.
Yeah.
But I don't agree.
So for reggae, what are some of your like famous influences, and do you have like local influences on the island right now that like you kind of get a feel from, or like any funk bands in the area? Like, do you have so who are the famous influences for Joe Sambo, and who are like maybe some local influences that you heard or fucked around and like randomly found out about?
I'd say, man, that's a good question. Bigger bands influences wise, um, I honestly listen to a lot of instrumental funk, like Lettuce is a huge influence. Uh, Tower of Power, they're not instrumental, but they're one of the biggest influences, especially their album. It was a live album, 1998, Tower of Power live in Oakland, California, and they have this singer. His name is Brent Carter, and that specific album was like mind blowing, and like it was. I'd say that album was the reason why I sing, like straight up. as far as funk, that's like my favorite band of all time.
I'm writing that down.
Tower of Power, baby. I recommend the 1998 Soul Vaccination album.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, if you're into that. Um, and I mean, locally in Key West, dude, there's a lot of talented cats from all over the country that are coming down here and gigging. And a couple of the cats that I've personally met that I vibe with big time musically is Turner Harrison. His Instagram tag is Hoppy Music. He is phenomenal. And Nick Brownell, he's actually more of like a country twang,
Okay.
like a modern Johnny Cash kind of sound, I'd say. But dude, there's so many talented people that it's constant inspiration down here, and everyone's super cool too. Like I spent a little time in Nashville. The gigging scene seemed a little like cutthroat and very like kind of attitude.
Oh, like nose up at you shit.
Down, yeah, well, everyone's there like trying to impress everybody, so that everyone wants to be on stage. Everyone's on stage.
Well, it's
All
one
the
of the
honky
music
tonks on the
capitals of the
road.
world. You know what I mean? It's one of the
Yeah,
music capitals of the world.
yeah, and but down here, man, everyone's got this very, very. We have a saying down here. It's called "one human family," and I understand it to a T now. Um, Everybody's super helpful and like we'll throw each other gigs here and there, and everyone's looking out for each other and everyone's inspiring each other. It's pretty cool down here, man. It's a unique place. Everyone's helping each other out. We're so far off from the mainland itself. Like just to get to the peninsula of Florida is like a 3.5 hour, 4 hour drive just to get
Wow.
to like Homestead, Miami area. And so we're all like down here on our own little island, just gigging up a storm, and everyone's jamming. We do Sunday night jams at General Horseplay. It's hard not to get inspired down here for sure. Like it's a cool little island.
You know, and I think I've said this literally on every episode that I've done, is that the sense of community that you have as a local scene musician when you're playing like the shitty VFW or the Moose Lodge or fucking a
Yeah,
YMCA, and you make all those friends in that local scene, and now you have like your own local scene down there on the island. So that's kind of really
yeah,
cool to see, is that sense of community coming back in that area.
for sure. Yeah, and it's like I said, as far as like genres, there was the sense of community with the metal scene and going to Rocco's every weekend and seeing all the people and having a good time and throwing down in the mosh pit, and it was a sense of community. And it's you can compare it to what I got now down here. It's less aggressive, it's more loving, but it's it's definitely a comparison, and it's both are unique in their own ways, and like both are what make me who I am musically and like as a person. And like uh, I'm blessed to have been able to experience two opposite worlds of the music spectrum and life spectrum of just being involved in a music scene in general. It's fucking cool.
You know what I think is really cool is that everyone that I've interviewed so far, like people that play music that are very well known, your name is coming up a lot more often lately in circles, and there's certain metal bands I've been talking to and this and that, but it's very, very cool to see that the people that you listen to their music are actually really cool and down to earth as well, and they're just trying to give you their best rendition of what they want to make. And
Yeah,
I really appreciate that, especially like every state's different, so people are kind of stuck in this shitty limbo in some states, and then some states are open. My state's open, so I mean, I'm not.
where are you at?
It says it right on the box. I don't want to dox myself on the fucking internet. You know what I mean? So
Let's see where you're from.
that's
Oh,
yeah. So that's why it was one of those things where I was
my
like,
guy.
I gotta get a hold of him because we're kind of in the same boat. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
It's pretty wide open up here right now, so it's kind of nice to see. Everyone's still respectful, like you said. Like down there, there's certain areas that are a little different than others. The closer you get down to the lower New England side, the more restrictions. The higher up you go, the
Yeah.
less. Um, so, for you, what are some favorite shows and venues you've played to date? I mean, tell me from, back in the metal day, and then tell me till now, because I'm sure the ones for now are fucking awesome, because they're like bars and people having a good time and it's nice weather. So I feel like
Yeah.
the current stories are going to be ones where people are going to be like, oh, I can close my eyes and picture that, whereas the old stories are going to be like, I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. So,
I mean, dude, uh, I guess for for spies like us, some of like the big memorable shows. Um, Honestly, there was one show we played in Michigan where like it was a whiteout snowstorm. We had never been to Michigan before. We were feeling like no one's gonna be here, dude. We gotta cancel the show. And like we were like almost ready to cancel it. And like we showed up, we set up everything, and we were kind of like bumming. And then like the entire show, like it ended up being our best show on the entire tour because we were in the middle of nowhere, Michigan, and we've never been before. Whiteout snowstorm, mad kids showed up, and they were literally screaming the words that I wrote in my face, and I'm like, "What in the world, dude? Like, I've never been here, and these kids are screaming these lyrics to me that I wrote in my room in New Hampshire, like." That was a memorable moment. I mean, as far as big shows or whatever, like those are the moments. Like it was a small venue, but like those are the moments that stick out for certain shows. And like you were mentioning now, where I'm gigging here, there's a lot of beautiful places to play for sure. Um, I love doing my residency gig at Hanks. The crowd is different every time. There's a lot of travelers. There's a lot of people on vacation and letting loose and getting drunk and partying. And it can be fun. It can be exhausting also. But like big as far as singing reggae, you can hear the planes of people coming in as we speak. Um, uh, as far as playing reggae, the big shows that I've played is like the Boston Freedom Rally, Turptown Throwdown. I had an opportunity to go up on stage with my friends, the Quins, at Levitate Festival, Mountain Music Festival in New Hampshire. And I'm like, there's metal festivals, but then there's like festivals, like Spies played a couple of those metal festivals, where it's like Warp Tour esque,
yep.
Um, but like there's some backwoods festivals that like love reggae and jam bandy shit. You wouldn't like I said, it goes hand in hand what I was saying earlier. Like there's just a whole different world of music and what people vibe with, and these like backwoods underground festivals that you would play, and people are tripping out and just having a great time in their own ways. Like those are memorable too. Like they're hilarious. Like great people watching. But
That's so fucking awesome. So like
I don't know.
playing those shows that are like that, those undergroundy, like sort of like, electric jungle, but for reggae type shows, like what
Electric Forest.
oh, there you go, Electric Forest, that's what it is. See, I'm fucking terrible when it comes to like the techno side. But like what's it like playing those underground like reggae slash, like funk style shows? Because like for a local scene playing in something like Spies, you would have your like we said, local shitty VFW, Moose, Legion Hall, whatever. But for
Yeah.
something like that, that's probably like an outdoor cool fucking festival, huh?
Yeah.
Where there's like
Well, dude,
mad
that's
people just dancing and stuff, right?
yeah. So like I was talking about it, Revelry Studios, they're in Manchester, New Hampshire. That's where I've been doing all my video work and where I recorded the last two albums I've done.
Really?
And I was talking to Matt from Revelry, and I was explaining all these like cool spots where all these festivals are happening. And he was just like, he's like, damn it, man. He's like, your genre has shows at all the coolest fucking places. And like, like these beach party, like reggae parties, and like I feel like it's just it goes hand in hand with I keep saying hand in hand, like it's with like reggae kind of as far as um, age groups and walks of life. Like anybody can nod their head to reggae, no matter what walk of life. If you're an old person, black person, young person, everyone can vibe with reggae. And there's just a natural inkling to bob your head. And that's kind of what people want to hear when they're chilling on the beach with a beer and hanging. So I feel like that's why it's a little more acceptable in like open places and the beautiful like um, beautiful beach setting shows or like wood show, like just outdoors in general. It's more acceptable than you know,
Yeah.
and and it's like, I mean, it's again like that. I guess that's what the theme of this podcast right now is, like comparing the two and like understanding both worlds and what's acceptable, what most people listen to, and what is like underground hardcore, and like respecting both and understanding like every aspect of what style of music is. And like I said, man, it's like what made me me, and having these experiences and understanding the two worlds and how, like having my own collision of the two. It's cool. Even at a setting as far as the venue itself and where the show is being put, like that plays a role on the vibe of the whole thing, you know, whether it's a VFW or a beach party, you know?
So like that's just really cool because it all comes back to that community thing. Like the metalcore community is cool, but I'm sure that it's less punchy facey when it comes to the fucking reggae and funk
Oh
community,
yeah.
where everyone's like, you know what, I'm just gonna roll a doob and then we're gonna see where this goes. Uh,
Yeah, dude, chill out. Listen to
yeah,
the tunes,
yeah.
man.
No one like you know what I mean. No one gets mad when they're baked. Like that's just, I feel like that's almost
No.
impossible. So for your biggest accomplishments right now, past, present, future, what are some ones that are like you're really proud of? Because I mean, I know that I want you to talk about your video coming out this week, but I
Yeah.
also want to talk about you know what it is that is you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What I'm most like proud of thus far is, I mean, a big accomplishment was my first album, The Wrong Impression. It debuted number one on the reggae billboard charts in 2019. And since then, it's just kind of been a whirlwind of like more opportunity and kind of taking advantage of what I can with what I have to work with. And I just recently signed with Law Records.
Mm-hmm.
The band Pepper owns Law Records, and I've gotten very close with those guys in the last few months, and mapping out and planning things in a actual like step by step way, and actually having a plan to put stuff out has been so awesome and refreshing, and have a team to help me with that. I've always just done it DIY. My first album I did DIY, debuted number one, and now having some backing will just enhance that whole thing. And um, most recently, my new song Beef. Sorry, okay. You still
There you
see
go.
me?
Yes, I can see
Yeah.
you now. No
My
worries.
new song, my new song Beef. I put it out last month, and that was number 40 on top 100 on Pandora, which was really fucking cool. Um, it's been added to a bunch of playlists on Spotify, and right now it's actually number two in the state of Hawaii on the radio.
Get the fuck
So I'm
out of
gonna be,
here.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. Right now it's the number two song in Hawaii. So
Congrats,
I'm
man. Congrats. That's
thanks,
fucking
dude.
you really deserve that, dude. I'm very happy to hear that.
I appreciate it, man. Next steps Hawaii, the
Dude,
next island. Bring it on.
so if you're number 2 on the radio there, you're going to have some serious fucking local excitement if you get to
Oh
go over
yeah,
there and play, man. So hopefully all this
yeah,
shit lifts up soon so you can go there and just really rock it to everybody,
yeah, man.
you
And
know?
that's still an obstacle with everything traveling and stuff. But like there's still so much to do in the on the back end, and like I said, getting on playlists and just making the connections in other ways besides playing concerts. Um, just contacting radio stations in different markets. Like that's all I'm trying to do right now, and prepare for the next couple releases I'm doing. I'm releasing a new song called "Create Something" on the 4th of June. So
Yeah.
I still got shit going on. I announced my headliner show in New Hampshire, August 29th. Um,
I think I might be coming to that because I'm going to a show at the Palladium the night before, and then I was thinking of
nice.
going to your show the night after because I was like, why the fuck not? He's gonna be up here, might as well go to it,
It's
you
gonna
know?
be it's gonna be a beach party too, bro. Come on,
Yeah,
you
exactly,
gotta come over.
exactly. So like, man, like, tell me a little bit more about what it's like to play in this community of funk and reggae and things like that. Like, you come across a lot of bands that are pretty different than you or sort of along the same vibe, or they're just there for the music, you know what I mean?
A common thing I noticed is everyone's just like down to jam.
Okay.
There's a lot more collaboration going, and not just necessarily collaboration like recording wise, um, but like just jumping on stage and singing a song. Like it was never a thing before. So like at least in my prior history with music, like you couldn't just jump up and make up lyrics or think of something. Oh, I these words and this melody fits this part, and like on the fly, like I'll give someone a nod, like, "Hey, can I come up and sing a little something?" And they're like, "Yeah, come on up." And I do my thing, and it turns the jam into a whole different thing. And like it's like I don't know. To answer your question, like it's a very very not just community based, like as just friendship and meeting people, but more like musically, like everyone's welcome to jump up. If you got something cool to do, come up and do it. Like no stress, you know.
That's so fucking rad to hear. It kind of reminds you of like the old blues players in the South that would just fucking riff and just
Yeah.
riff and riff and riff, and you're like, okay, I can totally listen to this all day long. You know, your experiences, things like that, your emotions. So, like with you, a lot of your songs go from being something that like literally I could listen to on the radio. Like I could literally, like, not a lot of people listen to the radio anymore, but like if you're going to listen to the radio, it's going to be pop songs. You're not going to listen to
Yeah.
fucking, you know what I mean, like something lame or anything like that. So like if you have like Kiss 108 in New England, you're going to listen to it and you're going to come across something like your music or even you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So for you, it goes from being like you have songs that could be on the radio, and then you have songs that could be like a college kid's anthem, like fucking like a Dave Matthews, but for kids that just want to get ripped and relax. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you got some songs that are just really soulful, and you go from like you have songs that go from an absolute like let's fucking dance the night away, tear this place up and party, and then you slow it right down and you get on people's level of like, oh, now I'm gonna fuck with your emotions. How's that sound?
Yeah.
So what's that
That's a
like for
good
you?
compliment, dude.
Dude, I love it. I love it. And what's that like for you writing? Like, is that a lot of fun being able to have that creative freedom to be like, I'm gonna make this like you have songs that I actually was like, dude, this is like so mighty mighty Boston squirrel nut zippers on this ska skanky part, and then it goes into a reggae like, oh, okay, I get it now.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, it's like the influences that I've had in like um what my upbringing musically. Like I just it's more than just reggae. Like short answer or short explanation of what you're explaining. It's like what I do is more than just reggae. I'm doing what's coming naturally to me, and and if I can express my own my own uh That's a word I just used. My own influences
There you go.
musically. If I can express my own influences musically, but also express my own emotions lyrically, with a catchy melody where people can still sing it with a good message. I feel like that's my goal when it comes to the writing process. I mean, again, it all comes out naturally. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna write until I'm writing it. I'm not one of those people who can just sit down and be like, I'm gonna write a song right now and it's gonna sound like this. I can't do that. I won't be able to. Um, but like it's really just when I'm going about day to day stuff where a melody will come into my head or a lyric or just I don't know. It's gotta be a little more organic for me, for it to be something that sticks. It's got to stick enough for me in order for it to resonate with people. You know what I mean? I don't want to put out like just and that not to knock any metal thing bands or metal music. You'll see a lot. They're writing lyrics to write lyrics,
Yes.
not to have like a connection with your listener. Um, and even besides the connection with the listener, when you're truthful and actually writing about something, I feel like that's what resonates most for people in the first place, and that's why it does resonate with people because it's personal and it's organic and real. Um, I feel like that's like the missing ingredient for a lot of these bands these days. Not just metal, but like in general, the missing ingredient for a lot of people who are writing, and they're like, can't think of this or that, and it's just like, look a little more in here, and the answer is already there. Like the song will just write itself once you can do that.
I feel like so like with interviewing indie artists or even bigger artists on bigger labels, indie labels, you know, I feel like people don't understand music as much as they should. And that's it's not being a music snob, it's the fact of looking at people that are on Billboard charts and going, they don't write their fucking music. Someone
Yeah,
writes that music and then they
yeah,
go, I have this catchy melody and I'm going to repeat the least amount of words in a hook and it's going to be on fucking Kids Bop 150. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So it gets to a point where you're like, is it talent anymore or is it just a fucking face that we're going to slap on an album? So it gets disappointing when like it's hard to find new music because you're like, oh, they sound like this exact other band or they sound like this. So like for you branching out of that metalcore thing and going to this, I feel like you have this like huge fucking advantage because like this is a music genre that, like you give compared to Sublime. Well, Sublime was a band that we got robbed of way too soon. You know what I mean?
For
And
sure, for
bringing
sure.
on Rome is great. Like I think that they're great, but it's a different version of Sublime. It's Sublime with Rome. It's not
Yeah,
Sublime. You know what I mean? And
for
that's
sure,
not knocking anybody. That's not knocking anybody at all. That's just me
for sure.
saying you had the spirit of one person writing that music and now you have that same band with someone else, right? You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it's a very hard pair of shoes to fill, and I would not want Rome to fill it because I feel like Rome gives his own version of Sublime to them.
yeah, for sure. And that's like that comparison, and especially in the reggae scene, is brought up a whole lot. And I personally, to be honest with you, dude, I was a big Sublime fan, but that first record that Sublime at Rome put out, I was working at the record store, and when they put out like a 2-song EP that was gonna be off their first record, it was Murderer and uh, um, what can you say? There was a couple songs on it, but that blew my fucking mind. I loved it, dude. And that it took Sublime with Rome because like I was a Sublime fan, but it was like I knew Summertime and I knew like Badfish and like the stereotypical Sublime songs. Whereas Sublime with Rome, it in my opinion, being one of those people, it brought this new light to Sublime itself, which made me go deeper into Sublime and Brad Knoll and the history of Sublime and all the B-side like um all the B-side like songs that were recorded in his fucking bedroom on an 8-track, and like Sublime with Rome got me way more into Sublime, making Brad Knoll my fucking idol. You know, I
Really?
feel like, yeah, dude, for sure, for sure, for sure. At least that first album. I haven't followed a whole lot of Sublime with Rome stuff after that, but that first album literally was like a fuck, man. Like, and then I really got into Sublime, original OG, like 90s Sublime, and like all the in-depth stuff about Sublime, all the stories. And I was honored to go to Brad Knoll's house and sit with his dad and his family
No
last
way.
October. It was the coolest experience ever, man, because
What
Brad
was
Knoll's
that
my
like,
fucking
man?
idol, man.
What was that
It
like?
was cool. It was I can't even explain, just because the entire time was like, holy shit, holy shit. Like, I'm sitting in Brad Knoll's childhood home. He literally tracked Robin the Hood upstairs. Like, it was surreal. We were in Long Beach. Me and my buddy Steve were there, and Brad Knoll's sister Kelly, she's the sweetest woman on earth. She's in charge of the Noel Family Foundation, and with Law Records, we put together this compilation album. It's called The House that Bradley Built, and I did a cover for it along with like 55 other bands in the scene. And we dedicated, it's in dedication to Sublime and Brad Knoll. And the goal is to build it's called Bradley's House, which will be a sober living home in California
That's
that his
fucking
family's
awesome.
been trying to build in his honor for artists that are struggling with opioid addiction and heroin addiction and stuff. And it's just like everything kind of came together while I was in California. Kelly hooked it up, and she gave me the address, and I was greeted by Jim Knoll, Brad Knoll's dad, and Janie, Janie,
Yep.
like, uh, dude, it was just surreal. It was surreal. That's the only word to describe. It was like, okay. And his famous Ibanez guitar, I got to play in his kitchen.
Fucking
It,
A,
it
dude.
was crazy, man. It was cool. It was a cool experience.
So for you, besides Sublime being like a major influence, uh, Brad specifically, did you have any ska influences or any like, I don't know, I guess like Rancid? Like, were you a fan of Rancid? Like, I hear a lot
I
of
have a
different
lot
stuff
of
from you, man.
friends.
I hear a lot of different stuff from Joe Sambo. I do not
I
hear
have a
just one
lot of
style.
friends that are into Rancid. I never really got into Rancid.
Okay.
I honestly couldn't even name a song from Rancid, but I have listened to Rancid. Um, they're that like ska, like punk, like
Hmm.
really aggressive punk. Um, I guess I should probably listen to more Rancid, because you're not the first person to say that. But as far as ska goes, man, I don't know. I haven't really. I don't listen to much ska. Big D
Really?
and the kids. Big D and the kids table. Big time. I kind of went through my real big fish phase. I'd throw it on Pandora and listen to Real Big Fish radio and listen to like "Sell Out with Me Tonight."
Yep.
Sell out. A record company's gonna make me love somebody. That I went through that little phase, but like I never really got into ska. I love the like up tempo chucks of ska.
Oh yeah, dude.
It's groovy. It's basically a very fast reggae skank. Like, that's really what it came down to. And I feel like that's like, if you want to play something fast in a reggae setting, ska's the way to go. And that chukka, that's the go-to to go fast in reggae.
Dude, I remember being like, I want to say like 12 or 13 years old, and growing up as like a latchkey kid. My parents are like, Warp Tour, Suffolk Downs, and Revere. Like, we'll let you go to that. And I went to it with a buddy, and I'll never forget seeing like Squirrel Nut Zippers and Goldfinger and stuff like that. But like
Fuck
people,
yeah.
people that were like super like into reggae, I'm talking like Rasta dudes, were sitting there listening to like fucking the Squirrel Nut Zippers and the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones and Goldfinger, and you're like, what the fuck? And then you realize like you just said, it's
Right.
fast reggae. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's really cool that punk and reggae sort of overtwine with each other. They
Yeah.
meet at a crossroads that people don't really normally understand.
One band that I've been obsessed with lately, it's like ska was it was an old like reggae thing. If you've ever listened to the Scatolites, you know the Scatolites,
Yes.
that is ska, the rock steady ska,
Yep.
and that's the ska that I listen to.
Okay.
The Scatolites are my shit. I love the Scatolites. I don't know if you've heard of the Agrolites. They're out of California.
No, I haven't
Um,
heard of that, but writing it
they're
down.
like funky ska reggae. The Agrolites, and that's the kind of shit I've been into lately. Actually, I probably should have answered that sooner. I probably should have been like, I don't listen to ska, because actually I listen to a lot of like actual ska. Whereas I mean, ska is like Mighty Boss Tones and Real Big Fish and all that, but like authentic like rock steady ska is like Scatolites.
Yep.
You know, Scatolites, dude. Fuck yeah. I love the Scatolites.
So
Now I'm gonna listen to the Scatolites.
yeah, now I'm gonna have to listen to the Agrolites and the Scatolites.
Yeah.
So for you, as we close in on a couple more questions here, what are some small businesses that have really, you've supported a lot over this this pandemic? What are some things that really, bars or anything like that you'd like to shout out that sort of like kept you going during this playing music time and things like that?
Down here specifically, well,
Mm-hmm.
first, before I moved down here, I was able to play Bernie's Beach Bar all last summer. Um, so I was blessed to be able to play outside at Bernie's Beach Bar all last summer. The Tuscan Kitchen in Salem, New Hampshire, my hometown. I was playing pretty much every week. They just kept they kept me working, and then when winter time came, we couldn't do any shows indoors. So um, I was blessed to have the connections I do down here. My friend Rob Benton, he's been running Hank's Hair the Dog Saloon down here, and he gave me a residency. I'm here 4 nights a week, and I'm blessed. I was able to start a whole new life down here. I just signed a lease. I'm an Islander. I'm a Key Wester now, and
Cheers,
it's
buddy.
cheers, bub.
Cheers, bub.
Yes, sir. But Hank's Hair of the Dog, General Horseplay, Tiki House. These are places down here that I've been able to play and work at, and there's so many places down here. Everyone's gigging. This is the spot to gig right now. It's like it's a beautiful place. It's a musician's paradise.
That's pretty awesome, man. I just recently was interviewing the drummer from a metalcore band called Fit for a King. He's also in a country band called Coetzel, Jared Easterling, and he's in
I played with
Texas.
those cats, and I played with those cats in Texas. Fit for a
See?
King.
See?
Yeah.
So, like, this is why I always say every episode is 7 degrees to Kevin Bacon. You can get back to a fucking another band from another band, and you're like, how the fuck did you cross paths? So, like, I was just talking to him, and he's in Texas, and he's been playing, like, baseball fields and shit like that. And I'm like, dude, we're at the light at the end of the tunnel. We're almost there. So, like, everyone's
Gigs are
getting
gigs,
super,
man.
yeah, everyone's getting super excited. So, like, you mentioned small businesses. What are some things that you have coming up that you're really excited about?
I am stoked about my video dropping this Thursday. We actually filmed that at my buddy's restaurant in New Hampshire, Surfside Burger Bar in Meredith.
Okay.
And I'm actually tomorrow. I might may or may not be flying back to play a gig there. They're doing a charity event, and my buddy Steve asked me to come out for it. So I will be there probably Thursday.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know if you're doing anything, dog. Come up. It's like supposed to be a little secret show, but it's a charity fundraiser to build a skateboard park in Meredith.
Oh,
And
fuck yeah. That is such a gorgeous fucking area, man.
yeah, I love it there.
Like, when you go up there, it feels like Pleasantville.
It's beautiful.
It's
It's beautiful. I always say,
gorgeous.
have you ever seen the movie Wild Hogs?
Yes.
So when the movie Wild Hogs, there's that Madrid. It's like this quaint little town
Yep.
on this main route. Meredith reminds me of Madrid. It's like this beautiful little quaint town right on the lake, and then there's crazy bikers that come every once a year.
So, like, during the whole pandemic, when they did Bike Week during the pandemic, they had, so, like, we're not going to get controversial, but they had no outbreaks during their Bike Week. And that was sort of when the time when I was like, all right, I think it's time that we can start doing shit now. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, if these fucking people are that hardy, you know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
Whip them out Wednesday. Like, I think we're going to be fucking fine if we just open up right now. So, like, for you coming up on that Hampton show, does that feel like a real good hometown throwdown that you're going to be able to do? Like, does that give you good
it's
feels?
gonna be great. It's gonna be great. It's like this full circle thing where, like, I would gig at Hampton Beach and gig all around New Hampshire for that matter, and being gone for so long now, to be able to do like a proper headlining ticketed event, and being able to do it post COVID now, it's like I'm fucking amped. I'm ready. It's like it's all coming together, and I feel like that's going to be an epic night of music and a lot of friends that I haven't seen in a while. So I'm stoked to get back to Bernie's and do this hometown throwdown.
I'm really excited
It's
for
fucking
you to
sweet.
get back into playing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like what's been nice is so I stream this live on Twitch. A lot of people on Twitch are musicians now. So a lot of people thought it was just for video games, but then musicians realized, like, yo, I could go on here and play
Stream
some
live.
songs. Yeah, and stream live, and like people can request songs for them to play. And then a lot of people, like Mike from the band All That Remains, or you know, you got people like I think it's the drummer from Chelsea Grin. You got people that will be like, "Oh, I can slow this down for you and show you how I play it." So it's sort of like you're getting on this fucking first name basis with fans and talking in their chat room and things like that. So it's like it's very
great.
cool. So it's kept a lot of musicians sane during this. So like, of course, you know, you luck out in that sense that your state has eased up much sooner than everybody else. So like you get to gig out and things like that. But like now that you're going to be able to play in other states that are easing up, you must be so fucking excited. So tell me what that's like for you. Does that feel like literally you're starting all over again? Like that feeling of when Spies Like Us was over and you were like, Joe Sambo and the Goons, I'm going to fucking do this. Yeah. Like, what do I do now? So like going back out into the world, is it like Bambi legs? Like you're a little bit nervous, but you're not at the same time?
No, I am so ready. I'm not nervous whatsoever. I'm like,
yes, dude.
So ready. It's like again, I've been blessed with the opportunity to be able to gig this whole time. A lot of people don't have the opportunity to. And I mean, as what you were going on with the live streaming, I did the live streaming for a few months, and I mean, not to knock it in any way, shape, or form, but it's not playing a show, and that's singing to a camera on a fucking screen isn't why I do what I do.
Right.
It actually made me more depressed doing that than anything. To be honest, like that's
understandable.
That's just me. Everyone has a different opinion about the live streaming. I'm ready to play some fucking shows. That's what I want to do. That's why I do it. I'm ready to get back in the studio. I'm just want to create content, put it out, and start touring and hit all these different markets that I have yet to see, that where I can physically see where people are listening to my music. And I'm just stoked to go to those places finally, especially after COVID, and just fucking rock it out and play some shows. bring my
Makes
band, whether it's solo or with my band. I'm ready for it all.
I'm fucking excited for you, man. So I got two more questions for you here. I wrote this down too because I was just really interested. What made you do the Dirty Heads cover Slow Down? Cuz like I have that on a playlist, your version, and I'm like, this fucking dude. Like I even watched the video with you doing all the
All the
harmonies.
couple things.
Oh, dude, it was so good. That's not to blow smoke up your ass, but like what made you do that there?
So that one, I've always been a Dirty Heads fan in general, but like, um, their newest record, it was off of Supermoon, that song "Slow Down," and I don't know, I just resonated with that song in general, like the message of the song, and it was they put that out before COVID, and I also put that out before COVID. It was like a month or two before COVID hit
Yep.
when I put that video out, and it was like so like such a timely cover to do. And I don't know, I just dug the harmonies. The way I arranged it was a little different than what they did, but like um, I just like that song. It really, when I do a cover and put it on, it's like I like this song, I want to sing it, so I'm gonna do a cover of it and put it up.
That's pretty
Really
fucking
short
rad.
answer, but I don't know. But I'm glad you like that one because that one has probably the least views on my YouTube channel than
Yeah,
uh,
I was really surprised
you
to see
know.
that. I was like, "What the
But
fuck, dude? This is a really good cover of this song. It's not like a traditional like I'm gonna sit here with my webcam and I'm gonna fucking record this little cover that I did. No, it's like you actually went through and did the harmonies and video editing, and it's really
yeah,
fucking good.
I appreciate that. I'm glad somebody noticed.
So, last question for you. I know you're really excited about this Thursday's coming release for Beef the video. First off, where did the inspiration for Beef come from? And where did you come up with the concept for the video? Because it's fucking hilarious. Because I sent it to my wife and she goes, "Who the fuck is this? This is great." So like,
Those clips,
yeah, she just couldn't stop laughing, especially when you posted the one with the fry cook. Like,
yeah. When
like
my
she
face is in the
lost it.
burger,
Yep. So
that's
like,
funny.
where'd the inspiration for the song come from, and where'd the inspiration for the video come from?
Well, so the song "Beef," um, I just had this really good groove. Well, it started with the hook. The "If you wanna dance, now's your chance." I had that hook in my head for like over a year before I actually tracked it, and or at least sat down and wrote the rest. And it was I had this bass line and I had that hook, and usually I'm like it's like a happy song. It's like a and like the idea and the video kind of went hand in hand just because I like had this vision of like um a can like a can like I literally have a product to give you, you know, like
Okay.
not just a song. Like you can consume this and you're gonna fucking dance. Like, so that was my idea in my head, and then lyrically it just kind of all came together. And like in the second verse, house-made grooves like baby, let's push. I wanna get baked, got the munchies from Kush. Now my belly's full with the rhythm, let's push. You know, so like it's like you're eating the beef. Literally, you're eating the beef and you're getting pumped up and you just want to dance. Like, I don't know. It's the silliest concept ever,
I
but
fucking dig it. I dig it.
I, and then I presented that idea to Revelry and they fucking thought it was hilarious. And I was like, I literally want me to be a pile of meat. Like, and they were like, okay.
Dude, it's like watching it reminds me of like the old Beavis and Butthead videos where they would like dissect them. And like I feel like if they watch it, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's about a guy who's a fry cook that took a bunch of acid and had just a bad
Yeah.
trip during the." But like the fucking song is so catchy, and that's why I said like I could either picture you being radio famous or radio in college famous because it's one of those things where it's feel good music where you want to hang out with the community and let people dance, and you even
Yeah.
say it in your song, you know what I mean? So like for you, what's that feel like being the guy that's like, I went from being a hardcore dance guy to a people actually want to like possibly make sweet sweet fuck and dance to this type of music type of thing, you know what I mean?
Dude, it's killer. It's cool. Like I've said before, it's cool to see both aspects of both worlds, and whether I'm two step dancing in a mosh pit or like being silly dancing to a reggae song, like I don't know, it all coincides, dude. We're all here. We're all here trying to get by and do some cool shit and listen to good music. And if I can play a part in whatever that is for people, fuck yeah. And if people vibe with it, fuck yeah. If not, I'm sure and hope they vibe with something else, you know?
Fuck yeah, man. That's a great attitude to have. And like I said, those were the last couple of questions I have for you, and I really look forward to this video coming out on Thursday at
Yes, sir.
you have it on 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and or is it
Yeah.
other
So
way
that
around?
it's Pacific Standard Time, 10 a.m. So 1 in the afternoon, East Coast time.
All right, cool, cool, cool. So, is there anything you want to plug before we hang this up, man?
Just go on my Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I have a TikTok now, so you'll be seeing some silly videos on TikTok if you want to see more of that. Other than that, like, be easy, y'all.
Awesome, man. And again, Joe Sambo, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it, and I really look forward to more music from you, buddy. You have a great night.
Joe, you're the man, dude.
You're the man, dude. I can't wait to talk to you in the future. We'll have to do this again.
I'm absolutely down. I appreciate it, dude.
Appreciate you, buddy. Have a great night.
You too.
It's